Now, before we get started, I would really love if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get the latest content from the YouTube channel, The Last Rewind. And don't be shy about leaving your comments at the bottom of the page because you are the sole reason why this channel will be successful. Thank you. Welcome back to The Last Rewind with Big Red, and today's subject matter comes to you by the name Zion Williamson. What has he done for you lately? You don't know that old Janet Jackson song from the 1980s? What have you done for me lately? Or what have you done at all since you have arrived? You could list Zion Williamson, if this was a relationship, which it kind of is, it's a relationship with the New Orleans Pelicans, as a deadbeat. He has done pretty much nothing with their franchise. He has high expectations, and he has met really none of them. He has been to an all-star team. I think he's on his 5th year. Let me check the stats on that one. He is 6 year. He's in his 6th year with the Pelicans. Do I got that right? 6 years? Has that much time passed? Jeez. Yeah. And nothing has come of it. It's time for the Pelicans to let him go. And if you have been on the moon somewhere and you're wondering why I say that, let me tell you why. Okay? We're almost at the halfway point of the season, and he has played 9 games this season. Most of y'all are not surprised by this, I'm sure. Let's go with the first season. 2020 season. Let's see. How many games did he play his first year? 24 games. See, I think he came in 3rd in rookie of the year. Let's see. Yep. 22 and a half. He averaged 22 and a half points. Measly, I would say 6.3 rebounds. For someone that size to be 6'6", 6'7", 280 something pounds, listed as, I'm not sure if he actually is. I think he's a little bit bigger. To be that big and only average that small amount of rebounds, and you got somebody like Charles Barkley, which I would say is also a generational talent like Zion is, I think is pretty paltry. But, that's his first year. He can get better with time, right? Okay, 2nd year. And he's also playing power forward. He got up to 61 games. Vast improvement. Let's see. What did he get that year? Let's see. He made the all-star team, averaged 27 points per game. This gives you promise. I can see why New Orleans wants to give him a big contract, wants him to stay in town. Great. Let's see. What did he average? 7.2 rebounds. Not too much still there. But he was getting better. Let's see. What was his field goal percentage? I remember his field goal percentage was pretty good. Rookie year, 58%, 61% the next season. Let's go with the 3rd year. How many games did Zion play? Since we're living off a promise, he came back 29 games. Did not improve in the injury department. 26 points per game. So you got that where you say, you know what, there's still promise. People get injured earlier in their career. Trust the process. You remember what the 76ers did? Embiid. Trust the process. Came back next year. Played 70 games. Okay, there's something to look forward to. Maybe that was just a blip on the radar. He had 2 injury-riddled seasons. Comes back 70 games. He only averages 23 points per game. He goes down in the scoring average. He plays more time, only averages 23. You know what? Could be a setback. He's playing 70 games. Let's give him credit. He'll work on his game in the offseason. It'll get better by the next year. And we're going to get rid of some players and make him the fulcrum point of the team. So what does he do this year? 2024-25. 9 games so far. 9. Well, you know what? How he can cover that up. He showed marked uptick in his production. Let's see what he has. 21 points per game, the lowest he has had since he's been in the league. and he's not giving you the availability. It's time to let him go, guys. New Orleans, you tried. You trusted the process, and the process failed you. At least Embiid, when they trusted that process, they got an MVP season out of it, even though I think it was from voters' fatigue. But they got an MVP out of it. They at least got him to go to the second round of the playoffs a couple of times. That's something to be somewhat proud of, even though everyone wants to get a championship. You can't even get this dude to get to the playoffs and play a game. Remember when he almost was going to make a comeback and play the playoffs in the first round, but never quite made it because I think New Orleans got put out in the first round, so that didn't happen. Oh, and let's check this out. This past Wednesday, there was a game. New Orleans, I think, played the Dallas Mavericks. Let's see. There was 5 people out of the game. Let's see. For various reasons, let's see what happened. Luka Doncic was out of the game, of course. Let's see. Brandon Ingram, left ankle sprain. Herb Jones, right shoulder. Keon Brooks, let's see. He was out. G League two-way player, Antonio Reeves. He went to G League on assignment. Deontay Murray, right elbow bursitis. Then we come to Zion Williamson. He will return to play, but he has to do some reconditioning because he's not in proper shape. That's a nice way of saying he ain't been doing nothing. In the off season, he ain't been doing nothing in the in season. Zion Williamson has had year after year after year and promise to get in shape so he can maximize his body. LeBron James, I'll give him credit for that. LeBron James, the reason why he has such longevity, he's still playing in the game because he maximizes his body. And that is why he's in top tip shape going into the 40s right now and who knows and beyond. Zion Williamson, for a game that you get paid millions of dollars to play, it should be easy motivation to do this. Let me ask you guys, the audience, what job? I'm imagining most of the people who are watching this video have a job and they're adults. Maybe some kids watching it, but maybe they're going under child labor laws, who knows? But if you have a job, can you imagine your boss allowing you to be gone 45% of the year and being cool with it, and you also get guaranteed pay? Can you think of what job can do that besides being a professional athlete, or more specifically in the NBA? Probably not. 45% of the regular season is what Zion Williamson has missed since coming into the NBA. And none of that 45% has served well for New Orleans, or at least barely none of it. It's time to let him go. He serves no purpose to the future of the franchise, to the betterment of the franchise. It's time to let go of the process and trade for some draft picks, trade for another good player, whatever. You're going to have to take a loss, man. I know it's hard because where do you find another Zion Williamson in the draft in the world? You don't. But if Zion Williamson doesn't find the generational motivation it takes to be a professional NBA player, it's a waste of time. You can't be a generational talent without generational motivation and to be at the top of your profession of the NBA. Michael Jordan had generational motivation. Kobe Bryant had generational motivation. Magic had generational motivation. I could say maybe LeBron has generational motivation to keep him around this long. Zion Williamson does not have it. Charles Barkley, eventually he developed some, because as he has told you in many probably podcasts and stories, he started off in the league out of shape, not motivated to lose the weight. But here's the thing. They got paid a good amount compared to, normal folks, 9-to-5 people, but they didn't get paid nowhere near the amount to arrive in game day shape the first day of the season like the players do today. Charles Barkley will tell you, but Charles Barkley will tell you, hey, we're playing a game we love. We're not steel workers. Just come to work and do your job. That was worse, like I said, the decades before, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever you want to count it, for the NBA players. Some of them didn't get even paid $1 million. And now you're getting people getting paid multi-million dollars off the bench. Zion Williamson, you accepted that contract, abide by it, man. Be a professional, but it doesn't seem like he wants to do that. I almost think now we're at a threshold to where you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You get paid so much money, the player just scoffs at it and says, you know what? I'm going to get this money regardless. Why am I motivated to do better? There was a time, I think, and there was a level of pay you would get to where you're like, okay, I can almost get generational wealth. $1 million is a lot, but I got to make more to keep, building on the generational wealth so I can build and make businesses and stuff like that. Magic didn't get paid much to, I would say, build generational wealth, but it was a good start. It was better than a lot of people were getting. But he couldn't just stop playing and say, hey, I can live off of this forever. An NBA player can live off of one contract, 1 year, 2 years or whatever, and live off of that for the rest of their life if they really wanted to. There was a time, no, you couldn't. There was a time where players were making 6 figures and barely 7 figures, and they had to keep playing and build on that. And, maybe when they retire, if they know how to save their money, they could, keep that wealth building up and, of course, become multimillionaires. All NBA players, of course, did not do that. I think when the money started going up, the threshold started changing for where players said, you know what, I would play injured, I would die for this game, until now where I wish I would die for this game. And I got all this money to spend. I think that's where we're at now, unfortunately. But let me know what you think. Should the New Orleans Pelicans continue to run this project with Zion Williamson, or should they cut their losses? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you on the next The Last Rewind. Peace.